Dr. Pradheep Chhalliyil. Chhalliyil, yes. His topic is Sculpture, the 3D form of effective communication in the 5 levels of being. Over to you, Dr. Pradheep.
Namaskar to everybody. First, I'd like to thank this wonderful conference organizers for giving me an opportunity and my colleagues to present this paper. The topic I'm presenting is about the unified system of learning. And what I'm bringing up the challenge that we parents and teachers globally have is how to make a child focus on learning process. And we want the students in the classroom to be attentive and not disturb the functioning of the class. So we are already in a revolutionary age of artificial intelligence. We know now smart cars are coming up where without a driver, the car can actually go through the heavy traffic without any accidents. And this is possible because these lifeless machines are programmed to actually look at the patterns and sense the pattern of traffic and then respond accordingly. So the question we often ask is, if lifeless machines can be taught to recognize patterns and become smarter, why not children also learn advanced patterns and become smarter? So this unified system of teaching and learning is an ancient Indian system. In fact, it is a Gurukula system where the teacher conveys all the knowledge in the form of 5 Panchabhutas, and the knowledge is also structured in the patterns, and the learner also, or the student also grasps it. And this is how the pattern of alphabets and numbers came into being. And you know that we all learn initially the pattern of aksharas, the letters, and then it becomes automatic that we know how to apply it to read a book or write and apply in any field. The same is with the Indian system, and we are all aware that we were the discoverer of zero, but the Roman system of numbers do not have zero, and so that is not a pattern-based number system. So that is why they were not able to do computing. Not even multiplication was very easy. Whereas the Indian system with the 0 to 9, we are able to have a pattern-based number system, and that is why all these technologies have developed. So even artificial intelligence is made possible only with the 0 and 1. So what I'm trying to convey is it is the Indian tradition of learning through patterns. Now, this ancient pattern is called as Panchabhutas. It is nothing but about how the energy unfolds in this universe. We all know it is from Big Bang, this from modern science, that everything originated. But the ancients knew that that energy which unfolds as the universe actually goes through a pattern, and that we call it as Panchabhutas: earth, water, fire, air, and space. But there was also an internal pattern which is in the same way, having the same qualities. The earth represents our body, like the mind changing the mind, it is a water, and then we have the intelligence, then we have the self-awareness, which is the Vayu Tattva, and we have a consciousness, which we call as the space. So here, the self-awareness is the self, what we call as recognized as I, me, and mine. And these are the ways which a newborn child will absorb the information from the external world, again through the 5 basic senses, which is the same pattern as the Panchabhutas. So that is why a child is allowed, when a child is allowed to use its 5 basic senses, then the process of learning is very efficient. But in modern times, we don't allow the child to fully use the basic senses, and instead only listening or visual aids are given. Now, I remember in my 4th grade or 5th grade, I was taught in the physics class centripetal force. I'm sure you audience will not also remember what is centripetal force. Even I don't know what the exact wordings are, but I remember my class teacher took all of the students out to the playground. He took a pail of water, a bucket full of water, and then he swirled across the up in the air. And then what happened was we were surprised that the water did not spill out. And he called this as a centripetal force. Now, what I'm trying to convey is in the very young age, the whatever is shown in a real object form only stays. Even now I'm 50 plus, I can remember that whenever I see a word of centripetal force. Now, this is why in unified schools, which we started in 2007 in Madurai, a village near Madurai, called Unify School, everything is based on materials. These unified materials have used other educational materials from Montessori and other, and basically we have taken all the Indian traditional tools that we have employed for thousands and thousands of years. So we have a lot of such these learning materials. But now for this conference talk, I wanted to show how the Shilpa Shastra, the sculptures, have been efficiently used as one of the teaching aids here. And I'm also presenting our 12 years of research study along with Dr. Madheshwaran, who is the director of the Unified Schools. So he has introduced, he was trained in Montessori, but then he wanted to see how these materials are effective in the teaching and learning process as well. But before I show these sculptures, I wanted to clear a doubt. I mean, mostly when these sculptures are shown, these are wrongly attributed as Hindu religious worship activities. Anything to do with the sculpture means, oh, it is something to do with Hindu religion, or it is something to do with the actions that are done are the superstitious rituals. But that is not the truth. Actually, these sculptures or these ritual actions were an efficient communication media for conveying the scientific energy concept about our own self and the universe. Now, again, I will show how we are employing this. We have actually two models. Before that, I will use this example. This is one of the classical example which we use. So we know about the white light, and then we know about different colors of light, the Vibgyor colors. Now, what is the cause for this? It is because these white light, when it goes through medium, not in vacuum, it has different speeds. This different speeds is what our brain interprets as colors. Now it has different speeds. Now look at, there are two ways which we can show to our students. Now we have two models called the unified SHARP model that you see on the left side, School for Advanced Recognition of Patterns. That's an acronym for SHARP. Unify is this Panchabhutas, that is about this one energy. So that is the one model, and I will show you how we teach the Vibgyor colors. So you can see that the teacher is holding a picture of sun, which shows that the light comes from the sun. And then there are 7 pencils in 7 colors of Vibgyor, and you can see they are arranged in a descending order. And they also have color paints. So this gives the student, even we show this to age of 1-year-old, 2-year-old onwards, we show this model, and they get the idea that not only there are 7 colors, but the colors have different speed. But now I will show you how there is another model to show the same concept, which we call as a unified A-sharp model. The A represents anthropomorphic medium, meaning human form like. So here we show it as Surya Bhagavan. Instead of showing the sun, we show Surya Bhagavan with his Aruna the charioteer with 7 horses, and you can see the size of these horses are different, and also we arrange in the descending order, showing that the ultraviolet ray horse is faster and the infrared horse is the slowest. So meaning that when they go to the higher levels, they will understand ultraviolet light has higher frequency than infrared. Now this is the study. Is the sharp model better or a sharp model better? But of course, the sharp model, we already know that it is much, much better than a teacher coming with a book, standing in front of a blackboard and teaching. There the span of attention is not good, but it is more than from that model to the sharp model. When we introduced, it was really a big change. But now we see that when we introduce a sharp model with the sculptures and all the from the Shilpa Shastra, it stays in a longer span of time. Now I'm showing again in the Unify model the whole research presentation. So from the body level, physical level, what do we see? You see that the children are having more attention. They are more focused in the class rather than, as I said, in the now what is being done. And here also you can see that was from age 7 to 14. But now you can see even 1 year, 2 year to 6-year-old children, they are very attentive in the class. Now, this is the graphical representation of our research. I'm not going to the details, which you can read in the paper, that we see 90% efficiency of the focus now of children. Now, what happens is, why is this important? This is important because most of the parents are very proud when their child is 3 years old or 4 years old, goes to kindergarten and comes back and talks about what it learns. And the parent thinks that the child is very focused. And also when the parent or the teacher teaches, the child is almost trying to be obedient, but it is out of fear. But the same child, when it goes to the higher classes, most of the teachers and parents complain that the child is not attentive in class, it does not do homework, it does not behave well, no respect for elders. All this comes because now the child knows how to overcome that fear. So that's where the unified system of A-sharp or the sharp models is very effective. We have seen not only for normal children, we had experience where autistic children, ADHD, attention deficiency disorders children, when they're brought to the early stage to Unify schools, we were able to introduce them to this model, and we see a huge change. Even a child who is autistic, after 1 year of Unify school, now we understand that the child is in higher classes and had got even double promotion. The teachers or parents, nobody can believe that this child was once an autistic. So that's the quality of the first level. In the body level, we see how the Unify A-sharp model is helping the children to have focus and attention in the classroom. And they also don't disturb other children in the classroom. Next is at the mind level. But we cannot keep the focus of the child for a longer time. And that's where the sculptures or the Shilpa Shastra models come, because they can attract the mind for a longer time span, because they have the aesthetic qualities of shape, texture, smell of the flowers or the incense that we use. And these qualities cannot be given to a child with the other models. Even sharper model they cannot get. And that is why the children that are introduced to the A-sharp model have a longer duration of attention. And they also are given the life experience. So here you can see that all the 5 levels of experience we give. Instead of showing a picture of a coconut, the coconut is really brought to the classroom. And also about milk protein, when we talk about Rama, the story of Rama in Ramayana, he loves Rasagulla. So immediately the teacher brings a concept of the Rasagulla making, and by introducing all the scientific concepts of squeezing the lemon, about acidic pH and everything, and also making in the classroom the Rasagulla. Similarly, we introduced to all the Vedic Shastras like astrology through astronomy. Here you can see the moon cycle, and also Anganyasam that we do doing the rituals, that also here you can see the teacher doing it and the child learning. And these are in the first level, they are like the body rituals, which helps like a small type of yoga. They are introduced. Not only that, we also introduce to rituals, dances, music, and all the shastras and all other subjects in a very young age, and the children is able to grasp it very well. Now again, when they grow big, okay, now they reach
Dr. Chhalliyil,
yes,
you have about 3 minutes to conclude, please.
Thank you. So then next is the symbolism. Now what happens is, in the higher level, they are challenged with the concepts of symbolic messages. What do they denote? And they're able to decode the messages of what these sculptures convey. So again, we stimulate their thinking through the symbolic images given by the sculptures. So first, I had to re-emphasize again, the sculptures are not toys and educational material. They can offer more. A child, we all know, when we buy a toy for a child, it is only interested for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or a day. After that, it has no interest, because it is not stimulating. It is not challenging for the child. No, the sculptures are not only stimulating at the body level, the mind level, and intellect, but also stimulates at the other levels of being, which we call as awareness about our own self, our energy. Irrespective of religions, the children here are very much interested in the energy rituals, and they are able to connect to their life and about higher qualities in life and how to lead a purposeful and happy life. The final is, through the sculptures, we show what are the steps that are needed for higher evolution. In the higher evolution, they develop the love and compassion, which is very much decreasing now in our society. So we start with, again, to be, we give child-sized tools like a broomstick and cleaning materials, being responsible at school, at home, at workplace, and society. So the child should be given challenge not only to memorize and write exam, but at all the 5 levels. And that's the conclusion that we come to introducing the unified A-sharp system of teaching using sculptures. Actually, in Bhagavatam, Kapila Acharya is the one who very efficiently tells his mother Devahuti, she's asking, I don't understand Vedas, I don't understand any of our scriptures. So can you easily explain? He showed the 5 fingers. And that's how the whole Gurukula system started. So here, more than the blackboard, we use these learning material and conceptual learning through this 5 format. Now, I like to acknowledge Dr. Madheswaran, the director of the schools, has brought all the sculpture-based and all the other learning materials, not only from the Hindu tradition, but also other religious tradition. And I thank Lakshmi Priya for doing all the work for the research study also, and Kishore Kumar for making the manuscript. I have to sincerely thank all the teachers and staff of the Unified Schools and also the donors. This is our website, and we also have the syllabus in English and Tamil. The Hindi version is under progress, and the online and the in-person courses are also available for teachers, parenting, even pregnancy, school children, college, and professionals. I have a diagnostic lab, and I use the 5 fingers even to convey all the messages, and I find that it is very, very efficient for employees. Thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity. If there are any questions, I can take. I think the time is out.
Thank you, Dr. Chhalliyil. It was a very interesting presentation. Really innovative way of integrating Shilpa Shastra into modern education and modern learning goals. This kind of experiential learning is something that I am seeing for the first time, and I really applaud you for having thought of it. It's very creative, and this unified system seems really interesting. You have a couple of questions actually. You can take them quickly. First is, what is the cost of education in this system? And Mr. Ajay Dagat says this is a very impressive way to educate. And there is another comment with a question. Unify is the most exciting teaching system. How well is this spreading? Could you please answer both these questions together?
Yeah,
The language question you've already answered.
Yeah, the cost is it varies from 50,000 rupees for these educational materials to 2 lakhs and 3 lakhs, which is very affordable. In fact, we started the schools in villages. Most of our schools are in villages, so you can understand it is a very cost-effective approach. And then you can be very creative to bring any type of model like pottery and all. We in fact have pottery and all other traditional artisans methods also to be used. So it's not anything very expensive, and the cost we are charging for training and everything is very nominal. So it is a very cost-effective approach, and we encourage the government also to take a look at the system and introduce across the country, and also we are spreading it to other countries as well. And the language.
And how many students?
Sorry,
How many students? How many students are enrolled in this system so far? How much is it spreading?
Yeah, in the pre-primary schools, we have between 30 to 45 students in the classroom. And in the higher level, it is now incorporated till 8th grade. And a lot of parents and parents do get our syllabus in other countries like Singapore and all US, European countries. They use that as in the home study course also they use that. So they give us a feedback, it is much more effective.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. It's a very interesting presentation.